Hey everybody, and welcome back to week 5 of the course. This week we're moving away from source evaluation, although we're going to still use it throughout the semester, and moving into rhetorical analysis. So this week, not only do we have the week 5 resources that I'll go over, but I've unlocked the rough draft and the final draft of your second essay, a rhetorical analysis about a speech. That's a persuasive speech called The Danger of a Single Story. So if you notice in week 5, the first two readings this week are the rhetorical situation and the rhetorical triangle. These are the most essential readings that you're going to have for the next few weeks. The rhetorical situation describes how somebody wants to be persuasive through speech or writing, that they have to consider the purpose, the audience, essentially the situation and the context for which they're trying to persuade you. The rhetorical triangle is one of the oldest methods of persuasion, dating back to the ancient Greeks and Aristotle. These are 3 different appeals or methods to try and persuade you. The appeal to pathos or emotions, the appeal to logos, logic, reasoning, and the appeal to ethos, so building credibility, authority, and tying your message to some sort of trustworthiness, whether that's morals or ethics or personal beliefs. So if balanced, these 3 appeals work incredibly effectively. If imbalanced, if you're relying on one more than the other, you can kind of see where the weakness happens. If you rely too much on emotions and not enough facts or trustworthiness, it's going to fall a little flat. Too much logic, it's boring, emotionless, can't build credibility. And if you're claiming credibility without emotional connection or logic, facts, statistics, then it's going to be hard to build that credibility, and it seems like it's sort of an empty attempt at building that trustworthiness with the audience. So this is the basis for your next rhetorical analysis assignment. Essentially, what you're going to be doing is, for the rough draft, write the first 1 to 2 pages in which you answer the prompt questions. If you look in Blackboard in week 6, you'll notice that the rough draft has been unlocked. Now, rather than having a complete draft, what I'm looking for here is the first 1 to 2 pages of what will become your 3 to 4 page final draft. So first you want to answer the context questions. So who's the speaker, who's the audience, the rhetorical situation stuff. And then begin with the first appeal, the appeal to ethos. How does the speaker build credibility? Is it successful? Use the examples from the speech. The link to the speech is in the prompt, and because it's a TED Talk, there's also a transcript that follows along with the video element of the speech. That way, you can listen to the speech, watch the speaker, and use the transcript to try and quote things. Now, for direct quotes, as you'll see, what I'm looking for is in your in-text citations, you have the author's last name, in this case the speaker, Adichie, and then the timestamp when she says the quote. So again, use the transcript as a guide because you can trace by timestamp when everything gets said. And if you're copying from the transcript, just look at the section timestamp that's being used, right? That will indicate where you got that from the speech, so it's traceable. The final draft will include not only how she uses all 3 appeals and whether they're successful, but we'll also be talking about in the next couple of weeks tone and style. So this is, how she's speaking, what kind of language she's using, and also is it formal or informal? Does she try and make jokes? Is she using colloquialisms? Is she interacting with the audience? Or is it more formal and sort of completely written and making sure that it's a sort of more written and serious speech? So that you will determine yourself after you watch the video. As always, I give an optional reading. We have one from your textbook, What's Motivating the Writer? So if you're having trouble with the rhetorical situation, try reading that chapter because it'll help you with the purpose and the audience. And then, of course, we have our discussion board for the week. So for this one, You want to read the essay, If AI is Predicting Your Future, Are You Still Free? It's on page 380. And then answer the questions. Make sure that you're quoting the essay directly with those in-text citations, and use questions as you're responding to your classmates so you can keep those conversations going throughout the week. In this, we're going to start thinking about the structure of argument and how these essays are trying to persuade us now that we're analyzing things like the rhetorical appeals. As always, please feel free to reach out with questions through email about the discussion board, the readings, or the rhetorical analysis rough draft. I'll be grading your source evaluation assignments this week, along with your other discussion posts. But again, reach out if you need any help with any of these things, or if you want to set up a virtual office hours appointment so we can go over any of those aspects. Thank you so much, and I can't wait to read your source evaluations, and as always, your discussion posts this week.